Hi, everyone. I just want to thank you all for coming and taking time out of your busy schedules to come see my presentation. I just wanted to introduce some people. So it was my dad, my brother, who's a freshman, my mom, and then my whole Czech team in the back, most of them. We're going to Czech Republic in July for a mission trip, and my prayer partner, Miss Howell, and Ashlyn goes to Vista, and is part of my small group. All right, so I was born over 18 years ago, December 6, 1998 in Illinois, and I lived there for until I was about 4. And then we moved to Highlands Ranch, Colorado, where I began preschool, and naturally my family fell in love with the state of Colorado, and we were sad to move back to Illinois over just a little over a year later. I began kindergarten, elementary school, in Lakeville, a small town north of Chicago, where I spent most of my life. When I wasn't at school, I was off playing with the neighbor boys outside and making the neighborhood anything but quiet. We would get into all sorts of trouble, but all the other kids still wanted to hang out on our side of the block. My family would go on all sorts of fun vacations, and we traveled all the time, and my childhood was great, to say the least. I grew up with the same kids from kindergarten to 8th grade, but when high school came around, I went to a private school while most of my friends went to public. I started my freshman year at Carmel Catholic in Illinois, and I only knew 3 people going in. I wore a gray pleated skirt and a colored polo every single day for 2 years. I distinctly remember the first day of freshman year walking into homeroom first period and getting yelled at by my teacher because my socks were just below my ankles, and according to dress code, that was unacceptable. And I just laugh when people complain about dress code at Valor, because you can wear whatever socks you want here. The freshman year continued, and despite the awkwardness that was in all of us, I had a great year. I was dedicated to my schoolwork and made an amazing group of friends. Like all freshmen, I just wanted to be an upperclassman. But we paid our dues and sat at the very top of the bleachers at the football games and kept the senior hall as we were supposed to. Switching gears a little bit, summer after freshman year, I went to a church retreat with my church at the time, Willow Creek, and it ended up being a big turning point in my faith. For the first time, I experienced what it was like to be in a relationship with Christ and what it looked like to live with Him and for Him. This experience helped shape me into the person I am today and the person I strive to be every single day. I center my life around God's plan for me and my future rather than what I thought I wanted. Since then, I've seen Him work in amazing ways throughout my life. He's definitely blessed me with some incredible people in my life that have shown me support, guidance, and unconditional love, and I'm very blessed to have all the people that I do in my life. Going back to school sophomore year, I was excited to no longer be at the bottom of the totem pole. I still had my strong friend group from freshman year, and we did everything together. Though it was great, and I wouldn't trade those memories in for the world, I wasn't branching out, and none of us were. The 6 of us had everything we needed and everything we could have ever wanted, and we were perfectly happy in our little bubble. But I didn't know what it was at the time, but something was telling me I was ready for a change. For years, and by years I mean 12 whole years, my family had been wanting to move back to Colorado. It was never out of the ordinary to see my parents online looking at houses, and occasionally we would find our house on the market. But to me, moving just seemed like an idea and nothing that was actually going to happen. Until, however, the summer after sophomore year, it did happen. I found myself agreeing to move, and for a long time, it was really exciting and didn't even feel real. But soon enough, I was transferring into a brand new high school my junior year, and I realized that I had been very comfortable in my little Illinois bubble with my constant group of friends in school and family dynamic. But that all changed. My friends were now really far away. My dad continued to work in Illinois, and so a bunch of what I was used to was suddenly different. But we made most of our weekends and went skiing, hiking, or anything else fun, and definitely got used to Colorado. Plus, living 30 minutes away from the mountains, like that was every Midwestern's dream. I definitely warmed up to the idea quickly. School eventually rolled around, and junior year, I found myself faced with a problem I'd never come across before. I grew up with a friend since kindergarten, and suddenly they're 900 miles away. I began junior year at Thunder Ridge in an effort to make or to meet new people and get involved, I joined preseason and regular season of track. I met a lot of great people through my classes and through track. But not only that, but before school started, I got in touch with my small group from Cherry Hills, and I met them for the first time. I remember the first time that I met them, I just moved here. It was a couple weeks in. I had been talking to the high school coordinator, Beth from Cherry Hills, and she gave me a contact of a girl named Ashley who was in our small group at the time. And she's like, hey, you should come to Cold Stone. We're all hanging out. And I was like, okay. So I drove there, and I didn't know anyone. I didn't know what Ashley looked like. I didn't know who anyone was. So I drove there, and I remember sitting in the car before I got out, so nervous because I didn't know what to do. I was about to walk into a whole group of high schoolers that I've never met before and just say hi. But I did it, and I'm glad I did because I met some of the most wonderful people that I've ever come across in my life. But it was a bunch of scary moments like that were completely out of what I was comfortable with, which helped me grow more confident in who I was and stretch me beyond my boundaries. So after junior year, that I spent at Thunder Ridge, I transferred yet again here to Valor my senior year. Though I had some great times at Thunder Ridge, it wasn't the kind of academic environment I was used to. And because my parents were planning to send my freshman brother here, I tagged along. And I'm glad I did. And this is how I ended up with a grand total of 3 high schools. So it was senior year, finally. I was at the top of the totem pole. But it didn't start out exactly how I always pictured it would. Senior year, you're supposed to be at the top of the school, know all your classmates, know where you're going to college, and at least appear like you have your life together. But instead, I was a new kid and didn't know anyone. And naturally, because of my indecisive nature, I had no idea where I wanted to go to college or what I wanted to study. But the year went on. I met more people, and just like the other times I transferred, I had a good time. I'm grateful to end my high school career at such an amazing school. And now, looking forward, after months of not knowing how anything college-related works, I am excited to start the next chapter of my life, and this fall I will be studying engineering at Point Loma Nazarene University in San Diego. But now on to the thank yous. This is to like my small group. Amanda's also in my small group, and Ashlyn. Was to everyone. I just wanted to thank you all for being so welcoming when I first moved here. It definitely made the transition much easier, even though it was a long time ago. I'm still super grateful for that. And every one of you are so amazing. And I am grateful to have such an amazing group of girls that I can go to about anything with. You guys rock. Amanda, I know God specifically put you in my life, and I am internally grateful he did. You are someone I can always turn to and talk to about anything. Azusa is lucky to have you, but I'm so glad that we are only going to be an hour and a half away from each other next year, so we can explore California with each other on the weekends. Mom, I know I don't say this nearly enough, but I appreciate everything you do for me. You always have my best interest at heart, and I'm extremely grateful for it. Thank you for putting up with me and showing me unconditional love, even when I'm difficult. I'm grateful to call such a beautiful and amazing woman my mother. Good. Dad, thank you for everything you do for not only me, but the whole family. Your hard work and sacrifices never go unnoticed. Thank you for always being supportive and pursuing me, and being a great person to joke around with. I couldn't ask for a better dad. Okay. Tyler. It was funny because when he found out that he was going to be in my presentation, he was like, ooh, say good things about me. Well, here you go. I loved growing up with you, and I'm grateful to call you my brother. Thanks for always getting in trouble with me, even when we were younger. And thanks for always taking my side when I need some backup, and having a good time with me on vacations. I can't wait to see where life takes you, and I'm sad I'm going to miss seeing you grow up through high school. but I know soon enough you're going to be standing here where I am right now, giving your senior presentation, and you will be talking about the amazing 4 years that you've had here. And lastly, I'd just like to thank my teachers at Valor, because they're all super incredible, and it's amazing to be a part of a school where teachers actually pursue you and ask you how you're doing. And the amount of times people ask me where I'm going to college, or when I have no idea what I'm talking about, ask if I want to talk about it and stuff. And I'm glad to graduate from such an incredible school. But yeah.
We have time for questions and or any words of encouragement that you'd like to share with Lauren.
So I have Colleen FaceTime with Colleen right now, so she can see. But
hi, Cole.
I wish I could
That's so
do
cute.
a couple, but her and I are both super proud of you.
Aww.
She says she loves
Hi,
you.
Cole. That's so cute.
I have a question, Lauren.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of students. Well, I personally don't have a lot of students who have expressed something like this, like a small group at a church. How would you encourage younger people or freshmen or even seniors to get involved, and what has it done for you?
I mean, I think it's been one of the most important things for me, definitely moving. It made the transition much easier. And I think going into college for seniors, that's really important to find a community of people, whether it's a church community, it doesn't necessarily have to, depending on the person, but someone where you are supported and people care about you. I think it's really good to grow through a group of people like that. But yeah, because that's definitely how what I've experienced.
We're lucky to have
Any other
you.
questions?
Cool. I just like to say I'm a military brat, so I've traveled all over the place every 3 years whenever we move. So I was homeschooled, so I didn't have the joy of going to 3 different high schools. But I just want to say how cool it is that a lot of people get really upset and frustrated with having so much transition in their lives, and you take it in stride. Even though I didn't know you that well over the course of the year, it kind of saddens me. I wish I could have known you better through the course of time in high school, just because just seeing friends from outside of the school to come to your senior presentation speaks a lot of you and who you are. And I think that'll just continue at Point Loma. So good job and congratulations. We're going to get up now and surround Lauren, and tradition here at Valor is to pray over them.